Objective 3. Non-uniform scaling can be misleading. The revenues in billions of dollars of the Walt Disney Company are described by the two bar graphs below. If Walt Disney wanted to emphasize its growth in revenue, which bar graph would be more convincing? And why is that bar graph misleading? So if we take a look at the first bar graph, you can see here that we're going from 2002 all the way to 2012. So you're listing every year here associated from 2002 to 2012. And our billions of dollars on our vertical axis goes in increments of 10, so 0 to 10, 20, and so on. Number 2, we still have the same vertical axis going from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on for billions of dollars. In this case, though, we're only using the years 2002, 2003, 2005, 2008, and 2012. So the first year's difference is 1, and then this year is 2, and then this year is 3, and then this year is 4. So they're going in increments of 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the horizontal axis, where in the horizontal axis in the first one is going in increments of every year. So if the categories for a bar graph are various years, and those years do not increase by the same amount, then the bar graph can be misleading. A time series plot would be a better graph to use. So you can see here that if those various years are not increasing by the same amount, this one is increasing by the same amount. The one over on the right is not increasing by the same amount. So consider the bar graph above. We're going to construct a time series plot of the data and explain why this graph is not misleading. So we're looking at the first bar graph. So going from 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012. So if we look at 2002, okay, well, what is the amount of billions of dollars? Well, it's around 20.5. So there is our 20.5. For 2003, it's about 20.7. So it's a little bit above that, so you can see our plot for that. What about 2005? Let's take a look at 2005. Well, 2004 goes to 30. So therefore, 2004 goes to 30. If we take a look at 2005 from our graph up here, it's a little bit above 30. So therefore, there is our 2005. In 2006, we can see it's going a little bit above 30, right below 30.5. So this is right below 30.5. If we look at 2007, 2007 is about 30.5. So it should be right up in the middle here. So there's 2007. 2008 is about 30.8. So there we have our 2007. I'm sorry, 2008. And 2009, now it's back down to close to 2000, what 2007 was, just a little bit above it. So about 30.6 maybe. And then in 2010, it's a little bit above, about 30.9. So 2010 is right here. And then 2011 is about 40.1. So it's right above 40. And then 2012 gives us approximately about 40.2 maybe. So there's your 40.2. So now you can see how the time series plot is created here. Now explain why this graph is not misleading. Well, let's take a look at the graphs again. This is the first graph, here's the second graph, and then we have our time series plot. In the second bar graph, the revenues seem to increase a lot more than in the first bar graph, because the years used for the categories increase by larger and larger amounts. So we can see here this is increasing from 1 year to the next, where this is going in 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. So the Walt Disney Company could make its financial progress seem much better by using the second bar graph, but this would be misleading. A clearer way to describe such data is with a time series plot. A time series plot for the Walt Disney revenues, where the years increase by equal amounts, is shown in the time series graph. Now in part B, if someone does not look carefully which graph, the time series graph or the second bar graph, makes it seem like the annual revenue is increasing by greater and greater amounts, and explain. Well, the time series plot has the same overall steepness as the second bar graph, as it should. Now, if the categories for a bar graph are various years, and those years do not increase by the same amount, then the bar graph can be misleading, and therefore a time series plot would be a better graph to use.